Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hope you're all having a fantastic day. I wanted to go ahead and do a follow-up video. I did a gameplay review of Starship Beyond maybe about a month and a half, almost 2 months ago. During that video, I had a lot of critiques, and I mentioned it was literally the first draft that just got released for the game. They've made a number of improvements on the game itself, so I wanted to go ahead and do a follow-up to that, give them at least a chance to kind of redeem some of the issues that they had. Like I said, in the first video, I really encourage everybody to go check out the first video, just so you kind of have some background on my initial thoughts. But just to recap my thoughts, there was a couple things that I didn't like, but I like the overall potential of the game. The game is a pixel art based game where you're running around the planet trying to gather and fight different monsters or enemies, however you want to call it. And it's a very skill based style game. Reminds me a lot of stuff like you would have had on like some of the old school consoles. So I like that concept of it, but there are some things I didn't like about it. It was still the first version of it, so it you didn't have a lot of place to explore. It was zoomed in super far, and the controls were a little wonky as far as you had to use your mouse. You couldn't just use the keyboard and like you normally would on a PC. I'm sure it was great on Android. I don't have Android to go ahead and test it, um, but I'm sure that functionality made it pretty neat and easy on that. But as far as PC went, it was a little tough to play. They revised it. They still don't have a version for iOS yet. They're still working on that. If you're not familiar with the Apple approval process, it's painful, especially for crypto Web 3.0 style games. So they're still working through that, but I wanted to go ahead and show you the updated version of it. I did want to note that they actually do have the Founders Pass is going to be available again. It is a little bit pricey. I mentioned that previously, but it actually is going to be the cheapest that they're going to have. It does come with a lot of benefits. If you're at all interested in hearing what the benefits are, again, I encourage you to go ahead and check out the first video. I'll have the link in the description so you can go ahead and check that out if you choose to. Gives you everything that you need to know about the Founders Badge. But let's go ahead and actually jump into the game so I can show you the updated version of the game. All right, we are in here. To get into the game itself is very similar to how it was before. You're just going to go ahead and log in. Eventually, that login will be your Wax wallet that you connect to. I'm just going to go ahead and skim through it. There's my Santa Claus. I'm going to go ahead and pick Santa Claus. Again, you can pick out of 3 weapons on the button one side and 3 weapons on this side. I usually like to do the bow and the arrow. It gives you a slight advantage as far as you can shoot it ahead, and it's got a homing kind of feature to it. And then I also liked the blast or the fire as my specialty one. So you go ahead and click on start. You can either create a room, join a room. I'm just going to create, actually, no, let's just join a room. And then you go ahead and hit player and ready there. Eventually, there may be additional players that are available. It's going to be there. I know they're targeting to do multiplayer at some point. So you just go ahead and hit start game, and it's going to take you right into the game. And it's active as soon as you get in the game. This is actually a different screen than I had last time. I tested this new version out. I'm just going to go ahead and through. It is zoomed out a little bit further, so you can see further ahead, which is nice. But you see how the arrows have that homing mechanism. You can just go ahead and kind of shoot it, which makes it a little bit better, in my opinion, than, for example, the just like an axe or the sword, or the melee weapon. We'll just say melee weapon. Every time you pick up a potion, it gives you some of your health back. So that's a nice feature that they have there. Oh, I'm getting hit from a distance. See. So I got to keep going through that. There is the specialty. I don't think I'm going to get to the boss here because I'm actually getting hit pretty hard. I like this one, the multi-arrow shot. So we're going to kind of wait till I get a bad guy in here. Let's go ahead to this next area. Ooh. I'm in this next area. Oh, there you go. That all shot him, which is nice. That's another thing I like about the bow and the arrow. Apologize. Sometimes I get a little focused in here trying to get these, but they do have bosses in the game now, which is great to see. I have not gotten one yet. I need to improve my skills a little bit more. But it is extremely entertaining. Um, so I'm curious to keep playing it. I'm curious. What I'm really excited for is when they actually get the game in there where they add crafting and all that fun stuff. So you're not just the only things that drop in the game right now are the potions. So it'll be nice when they actually have the other. Oh, I think I got to a boss. Yep. So this is some of the bosses that they have in the game now. And apparently they have little minions. Woo. So we are going to use a lot of that bonus. Yeah, I think I am a fan of the. Ooh, beat him. I think that was one of the bosses. I'm pretty sure. He was pretty big. So that's neat. I actually finally got to one of the bosses. Let's go ahead and take out these minion guys, which were probably helping the boss out. And see what's up here. So I think I just beat one of the bosses. I think eventually what they're going to have in the game is once you beat the boss, you can go ahead back to the planet. Right now, again, this is alpha. This is essentially a demo version. I don't even know if they consider it quite alpha yet. I think they considered it a demo version. So there's not a lot of rewards or anything for it, but you can go ahead around and oh, was not expecting that. See, that's why I wish I could do the um, keyboard because it's a lot easier to switch between the weapons and different types of shots instead of trying to look over, make sure I'm clicking on the right thing, and then looking back, which makes it a little bit more of a challenge. So you just keep going through, you keep attacking, you see how far you can really get within the game. And again, they will eventually have a different items into it, but let me go ahead and get to a safe spot. And I'll tell you what I think about as far as the updated version of the game goes. I'm glad they listened about it, a number of the things. Specifically, they zoomed out quite a bit, which helps out a lot. We'll actually just go over this corner so you don't see me die. What about my thoughts of the game? I like that they listened and made some adjustments relatively quickly. There's still a lot more that they're going to be doing with this. Like I said, there's a full game with it. I encourage you to go to check out the first video that I put out there that really dives into the future vision of the game itself. This video is really meant just to be an update to show you the different parts that they've actually changed. I really like that they zoomed out. I wish they would, and maybe eventually they will. I'm just pressing buttons on my keyboard to see. Oh, they might have. I'm just pressing different buttons on my keyboard to see if they actually added any of these, which I did not look. Probably should have looked in the Discord or the white paper, but as I'm pressing different buttons, a few things have been triggered. But I'm not sure what those are. I need to take a look at the white paper. So maybe they did add the keyboard features. As you can see there, I just shot something out. But like I said, I'm just hitting a bunch of buttons but I was just hitting a bunch of buttons and only a few things triggered. The healing potion and the blast. There probably is something for these. I just haven't found it yet. I got to take a look at the white paper. I just wanted to show you some of the updates that have happened, but it looks like they are making changes. They're progressing forward. That it is a fun game. I've said it before. It's a fun, entertaining, especially I imagine on a phone. I don't have an Android phone, as I mentioned before, so I can't really test out the Android side yet. I wonder if you can break these. No, you can't break those yet. So I can't tell you how it technically is on a mobile version, but they have it capable. If you had a chance to go ahead and play on the mobile version, Android version, let me know. Once it's available for iOS, I'm going to go ahead and test it and maybe do another follow-up video once they add a whole bunch more features and content. So we'll do that down the road at some point. But in the comments down below, let me know what your thoughts are. Is this a game that you think could be interesting as far as testing out and playing? Like I said, it's entertaining, and it's definitely a as you could hear probably a few times when I was fighting, I actually had to pause my talking so I could focus on the fighting. So that's the kind of game it is. It's an entertaining style skill-based game, and now I'm looking for some other. There we go. Some other enemies to go ahead and fight. So I'll keep playing this. I'm definitely going to keep an eye on it as it continues to get developed. And let me know if it's something that you may be interested in and also checking out. All right, I'll talk to you all later. Have a great day.